Welcome to Rusty Saddles Podcast, episode 6.
Just like sexual consent, George is a one-way.
One-way state.
Of
course. Let's talk about. You know what? Let's talk about Cybertruck first because I'm Team Cybertruck.
Let's get it.
I know that like this might be a little bit boring because I think we've all kind of came around to it, so we don't have any like other side to it. But I love the thing. I think I love the design. I know a lot, and I was thinking about it the other day because like we have friends that don't like it and everything. I was like, do you think that they wouldn't like? I think it's just that they have this preconceived idea of like what like a truck like looks like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like now that this is anything different, it's like, oh, that just looks wrong.
So,
Well, originally, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is a meme. Like someone's photoshopped this
Yeah.
to make it look stupid."
Uh-huh.
But then I don't know. I've kind of come around to it. I mean, I'm not a big truck guy anyway. But
Right.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't really care all that much.
I'm kind of in the same boat where like I thought it was a joke because it's Elon Musk and he's a meme king now, and then it wasn't. I don't know. So I wasn't on board with it, but it's growing on me. It just it doesn't fit into the norm of what we think a truck should look like. So everyone thinks it's fucking gross.
Like
Well-
it's either gonna be remembered as one of those like we're gonna look back on the Cybertruck and go, "Wow, that was really ahead of its time," or like, "Wow, that was really stupid."
Yeah.
Well, and it's like I think it's like somebody made the point that it was like trucks, like pickup trucks, for the most part. Obviously, there's been some changes, but they've pretty much had the exact same style. Whereas like a lot of other cars, like when you look at like sedans or like more sportier cars, like Mustangs and Camaros, like they've had like a huge shift over the
Yeah.
years.
Well,
You know what I mean? And it's like
speaking of
trucks
Mustang-
haven't had that, but this
Wait,
kind of does that. The trucks.
Mustang is coming out with like an SUV, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like an electric SUV.
Yeah, the first 4-door Mustang.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
and I'm pretty sure that like the specs on it are actually like really impressive. Like it rivals like stuff that Tesla puts out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at it like I'm looking at an image right now of the Cybertruck, and people are like camping and like grilling on it. I don't know. It's like, is it like gonna be like a truck like that? Like, oh, let's go bring it out to the wilderness, or is it like?
Well, that was like I don't remember. I
TBD.
think it was like MKBHD, but he was talking about that like he was basically saying that like Tesla had to take a chance on doing something completely different because it's like the top 5 cars that are sold in the US like every year I think are like pickup trucks, and the F-150 being like the top one of that. And most of the time it's like people get an F-150, 5 years later they get another F-150. You know what I mean? And they just keep like going through that cycle. Or it's like, people get a Dodge Ram and in 5 years they get another Dodge Ram and everything. So it's like people are just kind of used to the market as the way that it is. So if you're going to put a new thing to disrupt that, like you have to do something completely off the beaten path. Because if you just make another truck that's just like an F-150, it's like, well, I like the F-150, so why would I switch? You know what I mean?
Here's my thing, though. Here's my thing.
Uh-huh.
We live in this great state, Georgia, USA, and it's like there's plenty of people driving around in trucks, right? How many of them use those trucks for like actual like practical uses instead of just like I want to own a truck? And then my follow-up is like, what is Cybertruck's like specs in terms of like what you can like haul?
It beats out like almost like every truck.
Well, yes and no. Its hauling capacity is, let me double check my facts here. But from what I've heard, it's like a lot less than like a traditional truck would be.
I'm going to read this off the Tesla website. Cybertruck is built with an exterior shell made for ultimate durability and passenger protection, starting with a nearly impenetrable exoskeleton.
I mean, the thing's like a literal tank, by the way. Yeah, to that point.
Armored glass, which doesn't work. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Entering a new class of strength, speed, and versatility, only possible with all-electric design. The powerful drivetrain and lower center of gravity provides extraordinary traction control and torque, enabling acceleration from 0 to 60 in as little as 2.9 seconds and up to 500 miles of range.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's the thing. It's like it also depends on the different, like that also kind of goes into it a little bit. I don't know the price of like other pickup trucks, but like the top spec Cybertruck of this is like $80,000.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying, or I'm seeing, Musk said it will be able to tow 14,000 pounds, about 800 pounds more than the most powerful configuration of Ford's mega popular F-150.
Yeah, but that's its like most powerful. The tri-motor AWD. Its
Yeah.
towing capacity at 14,000. Its storage is 100 cubic feet.
Yeah, I don't know. I also like, it's like we've talked about this before, but it's like if Tesla were going to enter like the pickup truck market or whatever, I just feel like this is exactly how they would have done it. Like it's just, I feel like their whole shtick is to like, even when they've like kind of done like their other cars are a lot more like, you know, on like into the status quo and like how we're used to them or whatever, like they still try to do something extremely different, you know.
Well, this
And
tri-motor one, it says production is expected to begin in late 2022. But I have to put $100 down today.
well, you can refund that at any point.
Well, no,
Okay.
that's bullshit.
I mean, not to like whatever, but if you're in the market for an $80,000 car, I don't think that $100 is really probably going to kill you that much.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
signing up for it just so I can flex.
Do it.
Of course.
I think that this car / truck, whatever, is really going to appeal to people who don't traditionally drive trucks. You know, people who have been driving, you know, their F-150 for 15 years, they're not going to switch. Oh my God, Cybertruck. That's what I want.
Yeah, but it's like if you're not, I don't know. I just don't get the appeal of trucks because it's like it's one thing if you actually need a truck for like what you do or like your hobby or something, but it's like for me, do I need a fucking Ford F-150 to drive 10 minutes to my retail job and then home?
Nope.
You know what I'm
Probably
saying?
not. But I will say that with the numbers that this thing is putting up of what, like, not gas mileage obviously, but the mileage that it can get, like, I don't know, especially, and I understand it's a triple motor one or whatever, but like the fact that that one can get up to 500 plus miles, I mean that's better than like what like my sedan that gets better gas mileage than any truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the range for like? What's the price for like normal like Teslas, just like not the Cybertrucks?
Well, like the Model 3, I think on the cheap end it's like around like 30 to 35,000. On the higher end, it's like gets up to 50 or 55.
Yeah.
I mean, all the same, especially with this Cybertruck, like, if you were ever worried about your family's safety, no longer an issue.
So the Model 3 is on a full battery, full charge, can go 322 miles, and it takes 15 minutes to charge up to 172 mile range at supercharger locations.
So Cybertruck beats it out by like almost a couple hundred.
Yeah.
If you get it all specced out and everything. I don't know. And obviously I think this is definitely like way more of subjective. Like, I don't know, stylistically, the fact that it looks like a giant tank almost, like, and like if you watch videos of it, that's what it looks like when it goes down the road. Like, I don't know, I like that because it's like what appeals to me more than like a big pickup truck would be like getting like a Jeep Wrangler, you know, and
Yeah.
like this kind of gives me more vibes of something like that than it does like a pickup truck.
So you're just like a little boy and you want your fucking tank.
Yeah. I literally want to be Batman. I'm gonna get the matte black version.
Fuck yeah.
That'd be dope, honestly. Like now that I'm looking at more, it looks better from the front than it does that one angle that's like been going around the internet a lot.
Backside.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then it's also the whole this honestly. I guess it's like I guess you have to do it once to like kind of perfect it or whatever. But it just seems like such like a marketing gimmick. But the whole thing about like you can make the hatch that goes over the back a solar panel, because I think they said that it can like charge up to like 15 miles a day.
Yeah. Which the average commuter only drives like 30 a day or something. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's I don't know. It's just
Well,
like
that's all you're paying for gas anyway.
that's true. But I don't know. It's just
but it's even
grand
more
scheme of
efficient
things.
now.
The interior looks really weird.
Yeah, it's got like the dash of it is like I don't think it's actually made out of like marble because I doubt they would ever get that. Like
It
if
looks
you got in a
like-
car
it looks
crash
like
on like a marble like
You're
powder,
dying.
it's like-
Well,
Yeah.
please, you're already driving a fucking tank. If you
Yeah,
crash
but
that,
it's reinforced outside. You know what I mean?
Not inside. I'm still shaking around on the inside.
you get a marble slab to the fucking mouth. Well, guess what? The outside is so strong that you can put fucking broken glass all over the inside.
Yeah.
It won't matter.
The apparently Musk, by the way, said that the reason why when they like threw the metal ball to like and it broke the glass was because like when the guy hit the side with a sledgehammer, apparently that like dislodged a part of the window
Oh.
and it made it unstable.
Oh, sure it did, Elon.
Well,
Blow me.
weren't they testing the glass earlier in the demo where they were like dropping a fucking lead ball on it?
Yeah, but it was like
Yeah.
just the glass. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't on like
But-
fashion to the door yet.
I mean,
And then they-
that proved it enough for me because they were like dropping that shit from super high up or whatever, and then that dude was like baby tossing it onto the windows and they were smashing.
Is this back panel that goes up to reveal the bed? Is that glass or is that like
No.
solid? Like,
No,
okay.
That's solid. I think that's like collapsible metal rods.
So can you see like you need to have that down while you drive?
No.
So what's the I'm looking at this car and it's like what are your like
Well,
sight
maybe you
lines?
do. I didn't even think
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
like what are the
'cause-
sight lines when you're driving this thing? It feels like that back window looks really tiny, like you would have a huge blind spot, and then there's like barely any rear view.
Well, I don't. Obviously, no one owns this fucking car, so I don't know anything about it. But Tesla has 360 cameras, so they could make it just like an artificial rear view mirror with like a camera view.
Well,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
yeah.
Like, why don't they do that for like big like 18-wheelers?
It's a good
That
question.
what you just said, the rear view mirror, like the main one that in the middle of the car, it's not like you don't look out the back or whatever. It's a rear view camera, so you don't like it's not like a thing that like it's getting you the view of like the back window.
I like on their website too. It's like it's towing like this really futuristic looking like trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's equally as tanky as the damn car.
Yeah.
Well, in the demo, they apparently they made a apparently Tesla now is making an ATV as well.
Yeah.
And so they had that like it was like, oh look, it fits right into your Cybertruck, so you can get a Cybertruck and an ATV.
Thank God.
I'm just saying, like, I
Just
feel
what
like
I
the
wanted.
first like year or two of these being rolled out, it's gonna be like fucking people like Casey Neistat driving them around. Like, you're not gonna see your local fucking lawnscaper like roll up with this Cybertruck.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, and it's like I don't know. I think that it's like it's one of these things that like if Tesla's going to make something like this, they're going to do it in their way, and it's like they are a car company, and it's like they've already hit the SUV market, they've already hit the sedan market, they've got like the super car market with the Roadster and everything. It's like outside of the pickup truck, there's really not much more for them to hit, and they kind of need to do that to be able to like grow the company to the next step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
Oof.
and I don't know, it's also a matter of like how much you really like put like interest into like because it's the exact same thing. Like if you weren't interested in buying an electric car, you probably would have gone out and gotten like some Nissan or whatever car instead of getting or Mercedes. If you wanted a more higher end car or whatever, then you would have gotten a Tesla. It's the exact same thing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming also there's like a market for just like luxury branded trucks.
probably. Well, I don't know.
Lincoln
It's
makes
like
a truck.
when you spec out a like an F-150, it kind of gets up there. They're nice on the inside. Like it's when a lot of the talks is like, you know, it is about like the practicality of like, are you actually hauling something? Do you need like the power and the like all the stuff that a truck needs? But like from like just a driving perspective, they are pretty like decked out and nice usually.
That's my thing with Cybertruck is I want like the biggest thing, and I don't know if it's even going to matter the market for the people who are going to be buying them, but it's like what is the practicality of using it as like an actual like pickup truck, like towing and hauling shit.
So I'm looking at some of the base stats for this Cybertruck, and if you're not getting the tri-motor, like, if you're not
Yeah.
getting the tri-motor, then those specs like don't even hold a candle to other trucks. But if you are getting the tri-motor, then you're probably better off than most trucks.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the single motor, like this looks weak.
Yeah, that's pretty, like 7,500. That's not a lot for a truck.
No, but obviously they're gonna fucking market their like best.
Yeah, you want to get the more expensive one.
Yeah.
I'm team, like, I'm not a hater,
I'm not either.
but just to, like, for the sake of conversation, instead of just sucking off Elon, okay, I'm gonna. I like the Cybertruck, and if I had money to just drop, I'd probably buy one.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I just looked up average price of new F-150, and it said according to Kelly Blue Book's latest figures, the average transaction price of a 2018 Ford F-150, so this is a couple years old, is $47,000 to $60,000.
Mm.
So
So-
they're right in the market price
Yeah.
Yeah.
of like how much you would spend on a truck, and it's like, well, like quite frankly, this is like their first, because again, like you have different goals with a pickup truck, like we're talking about, like the towing and just the durability, and like there's different things that you worry about that than when just like a normal commuter car like the Model 3 is. And I think that like whatever the Cybertruck 2 is or whatever, like that, it'll be like going from like the Model S to the Model 3. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I agree.
The
It's like this is
Ford
their first
F-150
foray to,
King
like-
Ranch. I guess this is like their big bad.
I guess there's also the Raptor.
Let's see. Power and handling.
Let's see, but this thing says, how much does the Ford F-150 cost? The average F-150 sports a base price of about $28,000. But like, what year is that though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Ford F1. What's the Raptor?
The Raptor.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It is like, out of all the F-150s, I like that style the most. But it's like, I don't know. It looks, I guess, it kind of looks more sporty to a degree. A lot more like.
I don't
military.
know. I don't like trucks. I like being like, when I'm driving, I do like sometimes being in a big truck where I'm like elevated. I'm like, I'm up. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
I
but
got-
and that's, I think that's why I like it, because I don't really like the design of trucks all that much either. But I like what like you're talking about, like the elevated, like kind of like big car type thing, and like I like the design of the Cybertruck more than I do traditional trucks.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna get a fucking Jeep truck.
No.
Oh God,
Please
this
don't.
toxic.
I would sooner probably just get like an Xterra. I think are nice, like a Jeep, than I would a truck.
Well, but there's Cybertruck now.
Yeah, but like fuck Cybertruck. I'll get that that Mustang, the SUV.
I'm gonna read through, because I think we got through all of that. I'm gonna read this. Am I the asshole? Okay. So the title of this is "Am I the asshole for leaving my fiance's Thanksgiving dinner to spend it at an ex-love interest Thanksgiving because I was uncomfortable?" Okay, so from the title, I probably already sound like the asshole, but here we go. I had my first Thanksgiving with my fiance's family this year. They're extremely wealthy, and it was a big, fancy event. The food was amazing. Everything was beautiful, but my fiance had to go and ruin it. On the days leading up to Thanksgiving, he was badgering me about how well-behaved I had to be and how I had to make a good impression. He bought me this beautiful dress and booked a hair and makeup appointment for me, but then some family stuff happened, and he switched it. He got mad at his family and stopped caring. On the day, I was still insistent on making an effort, but I knew from the get-go he stopped giving a shit when he said he already downed half a bottle of vodka by 10 a.m.
What the fuck?
Most of the day was spent as most Thanksgivings are spent, the family congregating and socializing, which is followed by dinner. But the whole time, my fiance was being rude and bratty and drunk and stupid. He and his sister snuck a bunch of times, I presume, to do
Snuck
drugs. Oh, okay, yeah. He offered me some. When I said no, he said, "Why are you even trying to impress these fuckers?" Kind of aggressively, and in front of a few of his family members, which made me very uncomfortable. Anyway, when I realized that at some point my fiance snuck off and wasn't planning on coming back, I had it. He left me in such an awkward situation by myself. I didn't want to stick around. I had been texting a friend who I once had a thing with about the situation, and he said he can send an Uber over for me and I can spend the rest of Thanksgiving with him and his family. I accepted the offer and ended up having a fantastic rest of my evening. I spent the night there. Oh, in the guest bedroom. Okay, in the guest bedroom. Okay. My fiance didn't even message me once throughout the night to check in. I returned home and explained to him where I was and whatnot, as I don't think I have anything to hide. He simply said, "Of all the people, why'd you go to his house? You also didn't need to spend the night. My fiance is giving me the silent treatment now and sulking about the house. I don't know why I specifically chose to spend the night at my ex-love interests, but I did."
I feel like my immediate reaction is like everyone's bad or whatever it is. Everyone's wrong. Everyone sucks here. That's the one.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I don't understand because he was all fucking yippy about oh, we need to make a good impression. And it says I had to be yeah. He bought me this beautiful dress and booked a hair and makeup appointment for me. But then some family stuff happened and he switched. What he switched what?
Like I think like he
Attitude.
switched like wanting to like impress and
Oh.
like he just didn't care.
I don't know. That's a rough one. I mean, like, this man is your fiance, though. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like this person should have had some idea of like how this man was gonna act. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, and obviously I don't know different people's situations. Different people like live in different areas and everything. But it's
Yeah.
like this dude's your fiance and this is your first Thanksgiving with his family. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't know,
yeah,
that's a
that's a
little
good
weird.
point too. That's also kind of weird.
Well, I don't know. It might be like a thing where his family's distant.
Well,
Obviously, he
right.
doesn't
Yeah.
fucking care much for his family.
Yeah.
Well,
Why do you care about
he-
these fuckers? Why are you trying to impress these fuckers?
He did care, and then some family stuff happened. He cared a
Well,
lot.
Yeah,
wonder,
true.
I wonder
And to
what
a
happened.
point where he's downed half a bottle of vodka by
By
10
10
drugs.
a.m.
and is constantly sneaking out to do hard drugs.
Jerk. Yeah, probably just weed.
I don't know,
That's a
dude.
classic.
Yeah, yeah,
going
you
for a
know.
walk.
Yeah, I forget.
Why are
Yeah,
your
so-
eyes all red? Are you okay?
He and
Yeah.
his sister snuck a bunch of times.
I don't know.
But
dude.
and then it's like she's at fault too because it's like you got to know, like that's not appropriate. Like that's not the person you should go to.
No.
Well, right, exactly. And it's like, and not only did you go over, spend time with his
But
family,
he spent the night.
you spent the night.
Like, even, I mean, like, as from the dude's perspective, he's probably like, yeah, you totally slept in that guest bedroom, I'm sure. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, yeah, exactly.
The top comment is everyone sucks here. Y'all are fucked up. Probably not a good idea to get married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, yeah, seriously.
Well, it's like, I don't know. It just like if somebody's family gives you like this much anxiety of like that, you're like, oh, I have to get a dress and I have to book a hair and makeup appointment. I have to be this like doll or whatever. Like, I just don't know if that's like,
Well, we have one person commented, not the asshole. She said, there's just so much to unpack. I'm almost struggling with it. So many red flags. Fiance does drugs with his sister.
oh no.
Takes you, yeah, exactly. That one is stupid. Takes you to what is supposed to be a family event and ditches you with no steps next. This is about to be your family potentially at some point, and this is the footing he chooses to start you on. His way of dealing with a poor family situation was getting shit-faced and braiding them and then getting high to boot. When he finally chooses to show up, he questions why you chose sanity over just going with things and offers up no apology while being a petulant child. Where you spend the night is almost a distant afterthought, giving all the ridiculous bullshit he put you through. Run, don't walk away from this toxic person and situation. Original poster. Not sure why you should subject yourself to a life filled with such wonderful events. Definitely not the asshole.
I don't know. I mean,
But it's like this person just assumes like there was two options: either stay at this family gathering or go to your like ex love interest's house and stay the night.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't
She-
so cut and dry.
well,
Yeah, she
and I
could've
also
gone-
feel like by the fact that it's like of all people, why'd you go to his house? I feel like this is probably like a contention in their relationship because the whole thing of like I was texting him throughout the
Yeah.
night and like I feel like the dude that she went to his house to like spend the rest of Thanksgiving with is like a guy that like has been like a point of contention in their relationship.
And it's like, why else would you order an Uber to like go and get her? You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is definitely trying to bone. The
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. This is not just like a like oh I'll just be like a nice friend. Like no, he has plans.
Are there ages on this post?
No, I don't see any.
probably young.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say if they're like older, maybe like in their late 30s, early 40s, maybe I could get past the whole like I went and spend the night.
Oh, she posted. Wait, is this her? Hold on. Yeah, she posted on relationship advice. So okay, here we go.
Oh boy.
r/relationship advice. My 19 female fiance, 22 male, is too close with his sister, 18 female. It kind of makes me feel weird. Since I've already made a post today about my relationship, I need advice on something that's been on my mind. My fiance and his sister are extremely close. They're always hanging out around each other. He wakes up in the middle of the night and will go hang out with her in the pool house. He's so attached to her, even though she has her own car. He will drive her to and from school. She's always sitting on his lap and laying on him. Sometimes when my fiance comes home drunk, he'll just lay and fall asleep in his sister's room. We live in the guest house on his family's estate.
Jesus Christ. That's weird.
He's always texting her. I've seen her charge in front of him. Or change. Oh, I've even seen her change in front of him. That's weird.
So, run, don't walk.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know. I think it's also like this is probably my like biases coming into it or whatever. But it's like I definitely thought that like when she said like do some drugs, like it was like hard drugs. Because I feel like if they were smoking weed, like she would have just said like to go do that or whatever. But it's also like rich family, you know, get a little like cocaine or whatever.
I think it's probably
easy
weird.
blow.
I don't know. If they're living
don't
on
know.
their family's estate in a guest house.
Well, it's like
Might
if you're
be a
living on your
little
family's estate in
harder.
a guest house, why is this the first Thanksgiving? You're like,
Yeah.
Maybe it's their first year together.
Yeah. Well, did you already have half a bottle of vodka? It's Thanksgiving. It's tradition. You didn't get the memo. Everyone's
you
gonna
have
be
cocaine
drunk.
on your nose.
Yeah. You didn't get your cocaine. I mean,
I don't know how you're gonna get through the night without your cocaine.
Well, it seems like this. If the problem also is you're getting the biased point of view from like the one side, but if it seems like if everything this lady is saying is true, this dude's a fucking psycho.
well, I want to know what the family like event was that made this dude go from buying her a new dress, getting her all dolled up and everything, to like, you want to impress these fuckers? Like, what? Something big happened. Like, this wasn't just like like someone said something mean to me. Like, no, some earth-shattering shit happened.
Well, now I'm questioning that because maybe it was like, oh, daddy's not letting me fucking sail around half the world on his yacht this summer. I'm mad.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, she obviously left it out for a reason. Like she did. She just kind of was very not specific about that. Like, oh, a family event happened. Maybe she doesn't even know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't sound like they have a great relationship. Maybe she doesn't know.
Well, maybe if she stopped being a naggy bitch and went out and did some blow with him.
Yeah, you're complaining like, oh, I bought you the dress, got you all dolled up. You got to yell at me for drinking half a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Trying to celebrate
Oh,
the
it's
holidays
hard.
here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm the only one in this chat without a sister, but that whole like super close with the sister thing is kind of weirding me out too.
Yeah, well, it's also like I don't know. And when she says like they kept constantly leaving, like, is this family not like, hey, where are John and Susan? Where'd they go? It's
Well,
like,
it might be a thing where they're like, oh, they're John and Susan. You know what they're doing.
oh my god,
I don't know what they're doing.
what do you mean?
Like, they're out there doing fucking coke.
It's just a thing in this family.
Just completely blunt, like, oh, you know what they're doing. And so everyone's like the extended family's like, no, I mean, what are they? It's
Oh,
just,
they're out in the
they're
blow
out there
room.
doing- yeah, they're doing business.
Cocaine.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
doing cocaine. John, yeah, like standing family's like, John, you got a little salt on your, just below your
Oops.
your mustache there. Oh god, yeah, just like takes it out. I can't waste it.
Well, it's also like I think the changing in front of each other is probably a weird thing. If you're 18
Yeah, I
or 20.
don't really. I mean, that's really
move on,
weird.
buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like this family, rich as they may be, is very dysfunctional, and that this girl she's not all in it if she's sitting here messaging old flames about how bad
Yeah.
a Thanksgiving
Well,
with her
she should
current
just
flame is.
leave. I don't understand why these people don't just like say like, obviously your heart's not in it, so just fuck off.
Yeah. Hey, I'm out of here.
That's
This
what I
is
get.
getting
That's
weird.
what like I get that a lot with these posts. It's like this dude seems like a fucking wackadoo. It's like
Yeah,
must have
well,
14
she
years
she commented on the original post about like all this stuff or whatever, saying that the wedding apparently is in March. So, if you're gonna get out, seems like it's happening now.
yeah.
I don't really know much about it, but I put this in our group chat yesterday. But Johnny Depp is producing a Michael Jackson musical starring Michael Jackson's glove.
Yeah, I didn't read much into it either. Was that wasn't Thanksgiving, was it?
No,
Yeah,
it was. I read that on Friday because we were going to the hockey game.
Let's see. For the Love of a Glove, an unauthorized musical fable to debut in LA in January 2020. An upcoming unauthorized quote-unquote musical will focus on Michael Jackson's life story from the perspective of the King of Pop's iconic sequined glove. To make the project even weirder, Johnny Depp is on board to produce the stage show, which will debut January 25th in Los Angeles. So it's soon. It's gonna be next month.
Yeah.
Let's see. Penned by Julian Nitzberg. Began as a more conventional biopic before the sexual abuse allegations against Jackson changed the focus of the project.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's so weird now. Like it just seems like, and I don't think about it that much, but it just seems like Michael Jackson now is in like this weird place of like, oh, he was a great artist, but he was like a pedophile.
The title of this is literally this long. The title of this play is For the Love of a Glove, an unauthorized musical fable about the life of Michael Jackson, quote, or comma, as told by his glove. Really rolls off the tongue. Yeah, and I agree. But Michael Jackson was always like weird, like, oh yeah, he love his music, King of Pop, but like, but like now that like Leaving Neverland or whatever, like HBO thing came out, I feel like it's like you can't ignore it anymore.
Well, right, but it's also, I don't know, there's also like that just in itself, and I just think it's just people having resistance, but that like I've never seen it, but like there's still people that are like, I don't know, I don't think he did it, you know what I mean? Because like it's all like it's the whole idea of like it's all from the perspective of these like two guys, and it's like there's no part of it of like the Jackson estate being able, you know what I mean? Like being able to say their piece with it, which it's like I don't know, what is the Jackson estate going to be like? Yep, nope, he diddled you. That's what happened.
He was like, they just come out and they're like, listen, he did it. All right, we're not proud of it, but it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that this like was gonna really go anywhere because it's like it's literally I think the only information on it is that it's a Michael Jackson musical told by the story of his glove and Johnny Depp is producing it. But it's also like how I wonder how involved he actually is. Like, is this like a thing where it's like, hey, Johnny Depp, we're gonna put you in a producer role on this so we can make some headlines?
Yeah, it very well might be a thing. Right, it might be exactly it.
Yeah,
well, because they do shit like that all like even with like Jurassic World or whatever. Like the first thing they put on there, producer Steven Spielberg, even though like I don't think he had anything to do with these new Jurassic World movies.
Probably not. Well, we talk about that a lot though. Like we do talk about that a lot. It's just like getting a name, just put in your trailer, be like, from the creative genius of fucking whatever.
Right. Well, it's the same thing. It goes the opposite way too, because like when Mel Gibson did Hacksaw Ridge, his name was it was the director of Braveheart.
Yeah.
But it was not Mel Gibson.
Well, he's,
of course.
But yeah, every time a Mel Gibson movie comes out now, it's like from the director of this, that, and the other.
Right.
But
exactly.
not Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Not him, but it is. But it's not. It's Listen,
it is, but we're not going to say it.
From that guy from that one movie who never said anything bad ever.
Yeah.
Comes.
Yeah.
A phone call about a man berating his wife.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the freaking the Clippers owner.
Oh yeah.
Mel
You know what?
Highest rated Rotten Tomatoes production, Chicken Run, 2000.
No.
97%.
You know what Mel Gibson should do? He should do a movie about a guy who whose wife releases some voicemails of him saying some really nasty shit, and then he has to, redefine his career. I think that's what he should do. I think that would be a really good move for him.
Yeah, he does a lot that he directs and stars in. That just looks like a fucking saint. Like, this is it's like the new the Richard Jewell, like the new Clint Eastwood thing about the Park bomber. It's like the world will know the truth.
Yeah. Written, starring, and directed by
Mel Gibson.
Yeah. It's like he's not just like him, like him. It's like lead character, Jel Mipson.
And it's like the fucking like Harry Potter thing where it's like, what's his name? With the Horcruxes.
What, Voldemort?
No, with the professor who's like, they go back in the memory and he's like, Christ, no, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be so funny to me. Well, it's like I don't know. There was like somebody that like, oh, this isn't like in the same way, but like I think in the movie's called like Peanut Butter Falcon or something like that. But like Shia LaBeouf apparently like wrote a movie while he was in rehab, and he plays his dad like in the movie, and it's like a like
Peanut
because
Butter
apparently his
Falcon.
dad was like abusive to him or whatever. It's just like I don't know. It feels like I feel like these meta things are getting a little out of hand.
That's revisionist history, buddy.
That's true.
Your dad not get a say, freaking Shia?
Well, apparently that was like a thing. Apparently he told his dad that he was going to be making it, and then like he was like, "You're not going to be in it, right?" or whatever. And he was like, "No," and then he ended up playing his dad. So Shia's a scumbag is the moral of that story. Before we get into everyone's favorite topic, Baby Yoda, I don't know if you watched that clip that I put in of like where they have the Duel of the Fates.
I watched some of it.
The background. I don't know. I'm in like a real good place with Star Wars right now, where I feel like I'm gonna go into this into Rise of Skywalker, and like I'm just gonna be able to enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah, but that being said, it's like when it starts coming around to like December 20th or whatever, and you start seeing all like the promotional shit and like all these people going and like all the hype. If I get in that theater and it's like on par with The Last Jedi, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna walk out disappointed.
Yeah, no, I will too. I don't know. Quite frankly, I'm not like I watched that clip that I sent in because I heard that Duel of the Fates was in it, but outside of that, I saw that and the 2 trailers and then like some photos, and that's it. But like, quite frankly, I am going to be actively avoiding seeing anything else until this movie comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't know.
Well, it's 'cause,
the problem is every year I'm like, oh, I'm like every big movie that comes out, like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fall into the same trap. I'm not gonna get hyped for this. But it's like it's Star Wars, and I know myself. Like once we get closer to that date, it's like I'm just gonna be like getting hyped. Like I've already watched all the fucking Star Wars, the original trilogy on Disney Plus. It's like I'm already fucking in the mindset of like, yes.
Yeah,
I gotta do that again. I want a refresher.
yeah. Well, we need to do that. We've been talking about that for weeks or whatever, needing to get that planned. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just think that like it just I don't know. It's in a good place for me right now because it's also like there's so many things that they're like putting into this movie that I didn't like. I would never have guessed that they were going to bring Palpatine back in this movie.
No.
Like if you had told me, it's like, what do you think is going to happen in episode 9? But then the other thing is that like I feel like it's really because it's like I don't know. I feel like this new trilogy really doesn't really have like a point to it unless there's like another trilogy after this, which I don't know when that would happen. Like I think we're going to get Star Wars Episode 10, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, is this really the end of like the Skywalker saga? I feel like we kind of left that a while ago. And it's like that's supposed to be like the whole point of this. Just like I just don't think that like Force Awakens and Last Jedi really like created pieces that were like, oh, this is answering the questions and like the putting the final dot on like this whole like thing or whatever. I feel like that happened at the end of Return of the Jedi, and this is like its whole like new thing. And I think that's how they should have probably.
All right, and that's going to wrap up this week's podcast. Be sure to come back next week for another one, and see you then.